for our TGIFlow together, and I'll send along. So today we're going to start seated on our mat. We're actually going to start in kneeling hero pose. So bring the hips to the heels, hands to the thighs, and we're going to start just by focusing on that breath. Feel the inhale and the exhale as they move in and out. Feel the belly rise and fall. And specifically this morning, I want you to notice that tummy expanding and then falling with your exhale. Notice how you can take up more space and then shrink yourself. I want to challenge you this morning as we flow to take up as much space as you can. Not worrying about expectations or what you might think you should look like or how much space you should be taking up. Just let yourself flow and take up as much space as you possibly can this morning. We're going to start with some gentle neck shoulder openers. We're going to inhale those arms all the way up and exhale, drop that left hand down, reach that right arm up and over, stretching the side body. And we're going to inhale all the way back up and exhale, drop that right arm, stretch all the way up and over with that left. We're going to take this kind of like a fluid movement in a dance with that breath. So inhale and exhale, reach over. Inhale, exhale, reach over. We're going to take one more on each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. This time we're going to change it up and we're going to sweep that left arm in front of us and place that arm down and sweep the right arm up and over. So the same kind of flowy motion, but stretching forward. So we're getting a little bit more into the low back. So reach that right arm forward and out. The left follows and opens up, stack the shoulders, and then two more of those. So sweep forward and stack the shoulders. Take it one more time on each side. Sweep forward and open. And last time. Sweep forward and open. Good, so this time bring that left arm back down. We're now gonna warm into the neck with some neck circles. So drop that head towards the chest. The fingertips are reaching towards the mat. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. We're just gonna rock that head left and right. Keeping the chin towards the chest. We're not rocking the head back. Find any sticky spots. Hang out there for a breath or two if you feel like it. And then early in the week, we took some vertebrae ripples from forward fold to standing. We're going to take the same idea here, but from a kneeling hero pose. So bring that chin back to the chest and lift the head up. Now we're going to start with the chin to the chest. So this is what it's going to look like from the side. We're going to drop that chin to the chest and then ripple vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down. You want the top of the head coming down to the space on the mat just in front of the knees. So you're slowly rocking down. And then tuck the pelvis, stack each vertebrae on top of each, and come all the way back up. Stack the head. We're going to take 3 of those. So again, your goal is to bring the top of the head down to the space between the knees, just in front of the knees. So I'm going to rock the head down, then round the vertebrae, come all the way down. Top of the head meets the mat. Then tuck the pelvis slightly first and round all the way up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. We're going to take 1 more. Really let that head be heavy here. Chin drops to the chest. We rock all the way down. Hands are just limp by our sides. Once the top of that head touches down, tuck the pelvis slightly and round up vertebrae by vertebrae. All the way up. Inhale those arms up overhead and bring them down in front of us, coming into our table. So in our table, our knees are beneath our hips, hands beneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide. We're going to warm into those wrists, really warming up every part of the body this morning. We're going to take some circles, first starting to the right. Notice how my hips don't really jut behind my knees. They might go a little bit behind, but they're not drastically going back here. I want to keep that circle really concentrated in my wrists, so my fingers are spread wide on the mat. And I'm essentially tracing around the outsides of my fingertips and the palm of my hand. You want to keep that abdomen nice and strong. We don't want to dome through that belly. We're going to keep that back nice and neutral. And then we're going to switch directions, take it the other way. Making sure that we are not losing the breath no matter where we go on our mat. Good. Let's come back to a neutral. Now that we've taken those circles, we're going to flip the hands out to the side. So we're going to rock in circles, same idea, but with our fingertips out towards the sides. The hands are still stacked beneath the shoulders. Notice how when you lean forward, you might have to activate that abdomen a little bit to help support that straight back in your table. You might be warming into the wrists, but these movements that we take definitely require us to activate other parts of the body. We can't just pinpoint one point of the body. It takes lots of muscles to make things happen. Then we're going to switch directions. And then we're going to come back to a neutral. Now this is going to be pretty intense. So we're going to flip the fingers all the way back towards the knees. If that's way, way too much, you can just keep your fingertips out to the sides. That's totally fine. But if you want to, flip both or one hand back. And we're going to take those same circles. Now notice how these circles are probably going to be way smaller. My wrists are usually pretty tight from typing and texting so much. Make sure that your fingers are still spread wide. And don't allow pain. Pain and deep discomfort is very, very different. One is tolerable. It's just a matter of breathing through it. The other is your brain will tell you it's not. We're going to take it the other direction. If you have one hand flipped and the other forward, flip hands and switch it up. Be really mindful. We're working to open up every part of the body this morning. Good. Now after those circles, come back to a neutral, flip those hands back. Bring those hips back to the heels and just shake out those hands. That was pretty intense. So give yourself a little break here. Now we're going to start warming down into the torso. So come back to our table. We're going to inhale just that elbow towards the sky on the left side. Take the hand towards the ear, and we're going to take some crunches with that left elbow down towards the right hand, the right wrist. So what it's going to look like, we're just crunching down and coming back up. We're going to take 5 of these. So exhale and inhale back up. Exhale, inhale back up. This is great activation for the obliques, all the little spinal muscles. Inhale back up. We're going to take 1 more. Exhale and inhale. Now from here, I want you to extend that left arm. Extend it long. Keep those shoulders stacked. That left hand is stacked over the right hand. Then we're going to bring that hand underneath the right side, reach through, and come all the way down to that left ear and left shoulder. So coming in to thread the needle. Notice how my hips are kind of jutting back. I want them to come right on top of my knees. So I'm coming all the way down and twisting, reaching as far as I can over to the right side. That right hand, once you're there, in your twisted, thread the needle, that left ear and left shoulder down. I want you to notice where that right arm is comfortable. Maybe you bind it around to the left hip. Maybe you extend it to the front of the mat. Maybe you just tent it, the elbow stacked right on top of the fingertips. Take whatever is comfortable for you here. After 3 to 5 breaths, we'll come out. We'll slowly bring that right hand back beneath the right shoulder. Press up. We're going to open wide back with that left hand stacked, and then bring that hand back down. We're going to tuck the toes. We're going to hover the knees off of the mat, tucking the pelvis slightly to really activate the abdomen. Imagine a corset around those ribs, pulling them together. We're going to hover here for 3, 2, 1, and then press the tummy back towards the thighs, come all the way back up into a down dog. So first down dog of the morning. We're going to be really gentle with ourselves. Bend those knees. Notice how I have really long length between my hands and my hips. I don't have any rounding, any jutting of my shoulders. If that's happening, bend your knees and bring the tummy back towards the thighs. Let the head release beneath the shoulders, between the arms. And then we're just going to shift that gaze forward and gently step this left foot forward on the outside of the left hand. So we're sticking with our left side. This is going to be a flow continuously from our table, and we'll take it on the other side. So notice how I'm kind of hinging with my back foot forward and back, pressing with those toes. I want you to do the same. I want you to get comfortable here, those hips kind of settling with gravity. That left knee is stacked right over the left ankle. Now we're warming into the hips. We're going to lower that back knee when that heel is jutted behind the toes. That's going to lengthen your stance a little bit. Then untuck the toes. I want you to drop that right hand to the mat. Left hand comes to the knee. The knee stacks on the ankle still, but we're just kind of gently encouraging a twist here. Imagine someone pulling the head away from the tailbone so you don't lose the length in between the spine. Get a really nice twist. If you notice this right shoulder just dumping forward, try to draw it back down the right side of the body. Enjoy this twist, this stretch. And then we're going to release that left hand back down. We're going to tuck the back right foot. We're going to take a funky transition here. We're going to kind of switch legs. So we're going to step, keep that left foot where it is. We're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right leg. Good. And from here, we're going to take a little bit of a challenge. So keep the heels on the mat, the toes splayed off. We're going to come into a yogi squat. If you need a block here, definitely take that. beneath the hips. I don't have one here to demonstrate, but if you're kind of crunched and like this, I want you to take a block beneath the hips. It will help open up the chest. We're gonna drop, again, that left hand to the mat, or just off the mat. Notice how I'm kind of off of the mat, off to the left side. I'm gonna open up this right arm towards the right side. Now notice how I'm not crunching. I'm not letting the shoulders drop. This takes activation from the glutes to keep those legs open without crunching forward like this. I'm not just releasing into it. So open up. And then if it's there for you, I want you to take this left hand behind and find that left hand with the right. It's a bit of a challenge, but if that bind is there for you, take it. If your hands are just here, I want you to just straighten into the legs and come all the way up into a wide leg forward fold, twisted. Notice how I angled my toes a little inward of my heels. If you're in this bind, I want you to challenge yourself to maybe bring this right foot in towards the left and keep that bind and press all the way up to stand with that left knee in the arms. Now notice how I brought that right foot in closer to the left before I did that. This is gonna feel like an opening in the shoulder and the left leg. Then I want you to release, whether you're in wide leg forward fold or that bind, come to stand all the way at the top of your mat. We're gonna take that same flow on the other side. So inhale, arms all the way up, exhale, flutter those lips, dive down, forward fold. You're gonna inhale, half lift. So the weight comes into the toes, we pull the shoulders away from the hips. Our chest is parallel with the mat. Then plant those palms, step back to our plank. And we're gonna take a modified chaturanga here. If full is in your practice, feel free to take that. Toes are stacked right beneath the heels. We're gonna lower the knees. Keep the arms close to the sides and lower all the way down. Inhale, chest opens through. Shoulders draw towards each other, elbows draw towards each other on the backside body. And then exhale. Come all the way back down to your tummy. Press back, knees, tuck the toes, and lift to a down dog. Good. From here, we're going to take an opposite hover. So we started with a hover off of the mat to come to our down dog. We're going to bend those knees, coming to hover on the mat for 3, 2, 1, and lower the knees all the way down. And we're going to take the same flow, but on the other side. So we're going to inhale, right arm all the way up. Just the elbow is reaching towards the sky. We're going to take those same crunches so the right hand comes to the right ear. Then we're going to crunch that elbow down towards the left wrist. And inhale up. And exhale, crunch. Inhale. 3 more. Crunch. 2 more. Inhale up. Last one. Bring that elbow to the wrist. And inhale up. Now I want you to extend that right arm all the way up. We're going to take that hand, thread it underneath the left, and thread the needle on the right side. So the right ear and right shoulder come all the way down to the mat. Hips are stacked on top of the knees. Again, that left hand, once you're there, decide whether you want to extend it, whether you want to tent those fingertips and stack the elbow on top of the wrist, or you want to bind that hand around to the right side. After being there for a couple breaths, we'll come back to our table. So bring that left hand back beneath the shoulder. We'll inhale, right arm all the way up, untwisting, and bring that right arm down. Now from here, I want you to tuck the toes. We're going to take that same hover to activate the abdomen. So press those knees just about 2 to 3 inches away from the mat. Stay in your table, nice 90 degrees everywhere you look. Corset around the ribs for 3, 2, 1, and press those hips back up, tummy towards the thighs, coming to our down dog. Now, we're going to shift that gaze to the front of the mat. We're going to bring that right leg gently to the outside of the right hand, coming into our wide leg lunge here. So again, take some time to let those legs settle. I like to use gravity to help my hips kind of find where they're comfortable. The right knee is on top of the right ankle, and I'm pressing forward and back with those toes to help me find length in my legs. When that heel is back, lower that left knee and hang out here in our lunge for just a moment. Then we're going to bring that left hand down to the mat flat in line with the right foot. Then we're going to bring that right hand to the top of that right thigh and just kind of encourage a twist here. Gentle, nothing too deep. We should feel a stretch in the left hip, but also we should also feel a gentle twist in the spine. If you notice that left shoulder jutting towards the left ear, draw it back down towards the left hip. We want length in that neck. We don't want it to feel crowded. Now we're coming towards our funky transition again. If the bind was not an option for you, or you just kind of fell out of it, maybe give it another go. If not, come right to our wide leg forward fold when I cue, but be gentle with yourself. Maybe come back to this and replay and try to work on it, and over time you'll definitely get there. So bring that right hand down to the mat. We're going to tuck the back toes, press the heel away to lift that knee, and kind of pounce forward and back, and we're going to step that left foot to the outside of the left hand. I'll turn to demonstrate what we're going to do here. We're kind of in this crouch here. We're going to lower the hips into a yogi squat. Again, take that prop if you need. The hands are together. They're pressing together, which is pressing the legs out. I'm opening the chest. I'm not pressing right on my knees. That's dangerous for the knee joints. We want to protect them. So from here, that right hand places down. Notice how my knees are not falling in because I'm activating the glutes, pressing down under the feet, opening that left arm up towards the sky, getting a gentle twist here. Now from here, I'm going to bind around. I'm going to reach behind that right leg. Left hand finds that right fingers, the right fingers. I have to kind of bring that left foot in, and then I'm bringing the weight onto that left foot and lifting that right leg in my arms. Now, if that wasn't there for you, just take that gentle twist and come right into a wide leg forward fold without the knee bound. And then wherever you are, release that leg, come all the way to standing. Inhale those arms and flutter those lips. Dive all the way down. Forward fold. That's a fun little flow that I know we only have time to move through once together, but since you'll all have the recording, I really encourage you to play with that. Play with the flow and see if over time you can't find that bind and that balance on one leg. It might be a real challenge and not even in the question for you this morning, but be gentle with yourself, come back, keep practicing, and eventually it will be. So we're going to inhale, shoulders away from the hips, and exhale. Come back to your forward fold, bend those knees, place those palms, and set left foot back, then right foot back, coming into our plank. Now from here, we're going to take a fun little transition. So bend those knees and don't let them come all the way down to the mat. Send those hips back. So we're kind of just hinging at our shoulders. Send the hips back towards the heels and then press the hips up towards the sky. You're kind of in a long down dog. So we're in our down dog. Then we're going to ripple forward back to our plank. Shoulders over the hands. Bend the knees again. Don't let them drop. Send the hips back towards the heels, tummy back towards the thighs. Press the hips up, down dog. And ripple forward, coming to our plank. Now again, we're going to take a couple more of those. Really feel that corset pulling the ribs together. We're gonna bend the knees, don't let them drop. Press the hips back, tummy towards the thighs, press the hips back and up, down dog. Ripple forward. Drop the knees just to a hover. Send the hips back, tummy to thighs. Press up, down dog, and back to plank. Last one. We're lowering the knees to a hover. Send the hips back, tummy to the thighs. Press all the way back up to a down dog, and then settle in your down dog. Maybe flip the feet down, walk them in closer, bend the knees, do whatever you have to adjust here. Good, this is our last down dog, so enjoy. We're then gonna drop the knees, come down to our hero where we started. We're gonna take some twists to finish out our practice this morning. So we're gonna inhale those arms all the way up. Bring that right hand to the left knee. Take that left hand behind your feet. We're gonna twist over to the left side. Gaze over that left shoulder. And we're gonna inhale, rise. Back through center and twist the other direction. And inhale. And exhale. Taking that flowy movement between sides in our twist. Twisting to the left. Inhale. And exhale, twist to the right. One more. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale. And exhale, twist to the right. Good. Come back through center. I want you to cross those hands at opposite elbows and just kind of rest here. Let the weight of the hands on the elbows draw the shoulders away from the ears. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think back to our practice. We had set the intention of taking up as much space as we possibly could. Was there any point in our practice where you felt small or felt like you were putting yourself behind bars, keeping yourself within the lines, expectations of what you thought it should look like rather than what it should feel like? You'll have this recording. It'll be at about a half hour. But I want you to come back to this. You'll have this forever, and I want you to maybe come back to this once a week to start, maybe once a month, but keep coming back. Consistency is key, and with time, repetition will really help you progress. The next time you come back to this flow, remember, take up as much space as you possibly can. And you might notice that even just breathing a little deeper, allowing your tummy to expand more, will allow you to come into some deeper, different shapes than you were this morning. We're going to inhale, bring those arms wide, arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart